Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Some time ago, not too long ago, I think it was about a couple of months now, old boxer Enriquez, Rene Boxer Enriquez, you know, the infamous dropout that helped write the book, The Black Hand, and all that shit. And I guess recently, not too long ago, he dropped another book called The Encyclopedia of the MA and all that shit. That guy who has done everything in his power to snitch on every Tom, Dick, and Harry there is in the world. Everyone, everybody. I think he even told him where Hoffa was buried. I think he told him that the moon landing was faked. I think he told him who shot Kennedy. I think he also told him who poisoned that Russian spy in England. He's probably the reason that Julian Assange is busted. He helped find bin Laden. You get the drift. This guy. The biggest, the most infamous rat since Jimmy the Weasel is Boxer Enriquez. So why did he get denied parole yet again? Some time ago, that idiot Jerry Brown had denied him, and I don't really know if Arnold Schwarzenegger ever denied him or not. I don't think he ever went in front of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he would have denied him anyways himself. But now, most recently, the soy boy, king of the world, the most progressive, left-leaning, the progressive's progressive, the vegan pizza, soy drinking, Fruit Loop from San Francisco, Gavin Newsom has now denied him as well. And it would seem that Boxer will never get out of prison. I mean, I would be surprised if he ever does. Even in this time of a pandemic, there he continues to sit. And I think they even tried to use that. I mean, that's everybody's fucking calling card these days. Everybody uses the corona for everything. The corona to get free money, the corona to not go to work. Use the corona to get out of prison. You get caught with a smoking gun and a dead child at your feet. You're going to blame the coronavirus. That's the go-to. That's the reason why we can't have no presidential debates. That's the reason why the whole economy is in the tank. All of this stuff. So Boxer is no different than everybody else in this regard, and he believed that he could use that to his advantage. Oh my God, I'm at risk with the coronavirus. I gotta get out of prison. Let me break you down some facts in regards to Mr. Boxer himself, okay? This is the reason why he will probably never get out of prison. And it's simple if you think about it. Because they don't give a fuck if you're a rat. Just ask anybody on the SNY yard, what has their snitching gotten them? Absolutely nothing. I mean, we could say Tekashi 6ix9ine benefited a lot, but I mean, he's already a part of the fist fucking blood drinking celebrity elite power structure. That's their boy. You know? So they're gonna help their own out, but you know what? Boxer's not one of the crowd. Now you could be a millionaire, you could be a billionaire, you could be a celebrity, you could be all those things. That doesn't mean you're in the power structure itself. It's kind of like you have a prison yard, and you may have that one guy who's the most gangster of them all. But he ain't from no prison gang. He doesn't ride with no car, really. You know what I mean? If it's in California outside of whatever racial category he falls under or something like that, but he probably really doesn't even listen to them. He never joined a gang on the streets, nothing like that. Let's just say he's an average, everyday, run-of-the-mill black man in the prison system or a white man or something like that along those lines. He'll link up with his people, but other than that, they ain't going to tell him shit. It works like that sometimes. So, the celebrity elite power structure would be, you know, the prison gangs. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody in the Millionaires Club is a part of that world. Not like Tekashi and Cardi B and all the rest of those fucking weirdos on the East Coast. To equally match all the weirdos that they have on the West Coast. This doesn't work that way. So Boxer himself, this is why he will never, ever, ever probably get out of prison. It's because of who he is and how he went about becoming who he is. Now, mind you, he didn't wake up in one night like Mundo did and have a God moment, have a Jesus Christ coming into his life type moment. Boxer went out backwards because he knew they were going to kill him. They were gunning for him. He was on the list. He was going to get hit. He even admitted to this in his own book, from what I'm told. I never got a chance to read The Black Hand, nor do I ever want to. I mean, it's just not something that I'm really interested in reading. Probably everything that's written in that book I probably already know about. You know, there might be some small details here and there, but I'm not going to waste my time with it. It used to be a banned book for the homies in the prison system. If you were caught with it, man, people were going to start asking you questions. Why are you reading this dropout's work? But anyways, the reason he'll never get out is because of his conduct. Not of late, really, but of a few years after he wrote the book, all throughout his time he was in there, when he was out, and a lot of other charges that he has mixed into his jacket that I'm pretty sure the big homies might not have known anything about. The fact that he was sent to juvenile hall for participating in a gang rape of an intoxicated woman. That's how it's described in any place that you search it out. Whether he was convicted of that or not, that's really what is the meat and potatoes, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of rules and stuff that fall into a lot of these groups, like the one that he was a part of, that you can't be a sex offender. So it could be possible that he was arrested for it. He probably went to juvenile hall for it, but he wasn't officially charged for that crime. That might have been what he used to get out of that. Plus, you also got to remember one important detail. Back in the 1980s and the early 80s, when Boxer, or whenever during the time in the 80s when he got into that whole organization, they didn't really do a lot of that paperwork type stuff. They didn't have a 128G that I'm aware of. I was told that the 128G is kind of like a newer phenomenon, something that came out like in the 90s. But before that, they didn't really go into that kind of a detail. Plus, it was his juvenile record to boot. So who knows? I don't really know. Maybe they decided to make an exception for him for whatever reason, or maybe he paid. Who knows what the deal is? Only the dudes that are in the inner circle really know what's up with that. But that's not his only sexual escapade. He also has a sexual assault on an inmate, whether it was in juvenile hall itself or sometime in the prison system, but he has taken somebody's butt once upon a time. But he has a lot of bodies next to his name as well. He has a lot of check marks in the butt of his rifle for how many people he smoked. One of the big homies that he got, somebody else that dropped out or fell out of favor, he shot him several times in the head along with some other woman, and he stabbed multiple people, and he's even on video stabbing somebody in a core holding tank, all that shit. He was with the business, regardless of whatever weird sexual charges he may have had. The dude was definitely with it. And he had one of the most organized crews in the Southeast area. This I know well, of course, because I'm from the Southeast area, so I know all about his little territory and his little circle of influence and how far it went and how far it couldn't go and just where he was operating. He pretty much had the whole city of Artesia locked down, but he had a lot of control outside of that as well. So he will never step foot out of prison because he didn't get out of the organization by having a God moment or just waking up one day in a puddle of his own tears and said, wow, I'm a horrible piece of shit person, man. I have to do what's right in his mind, or how he thinks is right, or how society or the parole board thinks is right. You know what I'm saying? And I have to start confessing and tell all and become an informant and shut this evil empire down. Didn't work out that way. He was going to get killed. So you know what he did? He got out while the getting was good. He realized that he had overextended his welcome and he was out the door. So being out the door, he decided to take everything down with it because he lost his whole power base. I mean, he was making tens of thousands of dollars each month, from what I understand. I mean, a lot of them dudes got thousands of dollars stacked up. All that was gone, either through his death or through his outro to the S&Y yard. All right. So that right there in itself, it doesn't matter how many people he snitches on. The system looks at the psychology of it all. They look at the whole picture. When you're going in front of that board, the governor, the advisors in the governor's office, same thing with Jerry Brown, same thing with Gavin Newsom. It doesn't matter how much of a soy boy cream puff that he is. He's still going to do his job when it comes to what his advisors are telling him. And his advisors are telling him, hey, man, this dude's not on the up and up. He didn't exactly drop out because he had a change of heart, or he wanted to right the wrongs, or he wanted to help law enforcement take all these people down and all these things down. He did it because he had a fucking bullet with his name on it. Or a knife with his name on it, however you want to put it. You understand what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, that's why he went out. And he wanted to take them all down with him, because he is of that philosophy that is pretty much the gospel of this day and age, is that if I'm going down, you're going down with me. I'm going to get off first. That's like the motto on the S&Y yard, get off first. And I don't mean getting off in a fight, you know what I'm saying? I mean getting off with a debriefing report that has detailed information about a lot of different people. Yeah. You already know who to ask about that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, Gavin Newsom's not going to let this guy out. I seriously doubt he'll ever get out. Even if there's a zombie apocalypse and they let everybody out of the CDC, Boxer will still be there, all by himself. As a matter of fact, Rick Grimes and the crew from The Walking Dead might even stumble across the prison and come to find out that Boxer's the sole survivor living in there. And he's still going to be telling, because when the governor's down the road wanting to kill Rick and the crew, guess who's going to get the phone call to the governor to get him killed? Hey, it's Boxer, it's your boy. Hey, Rick and the gang is over here. You might want to come and get him. Just letting you know, I'm telling on him. Can I get out now? No, you ain't going to get out. Not even in the zombie apocalypse. This man will probably never step foot in society's soil ever again, because he's just a scumbag. Plain and simple. He's a scumbag. He's a phony baloney-ass dude. He's a liar. He's self-inflated his importance. You know what I mean? He's done a lot of things. And the FBI and the CDCR and the squad and all those people that have been stroking him along all this time used him as a fucking fifi. They used him as a nutsock. They jerked off in him, and then they busted their nut, and then now they're just done with his ass. They can't get him out. Even the president, if the president was to pardon him, he wouldn't be able to get out because he's under California law, not federal law. He tried to go into the federal witness protection program. That didn't really work out so well either, because he's not federal, once again. And it doesn't matter. And plus, he's incarcerated, so the CDC's not going to let him go, because that's like their ace in the hole. That's their bread and butter right there. So Gavin Newsom can't figure out a way to make this political, or he can't figure out a way to get under Trump's skin by letting Boxer out, because Trump would probably not care if Boxer got out, because he's helped law enforcement, and you already know Trump's all about law and order. Gavin Newsom's not really about law and order, so he doesn't really care how many people that Boxer told on. He doesn't care how many law enforcement alphabet agencies he's helped. He's not really pro-law enforcement. He wants to defund the police. So how does that really work in his favor, Boxer's favor, in dealing with a guy like Gavin Newsom? Now, put it to you like this. If Boxer Enriquez had some dirt on Donald Trump, like let's say he had the real tea on Russian collusion, Boxer would be living in a fucking high-rise apartment in San Francisco right now. But these people can't politicize it. So there he's going to continue to sit. He's got nothing, no more use of him. He's going to die in there like Charles Manson did, and many others. And that's just the way it goes. It just goes to show you, kids, doesn't matter how many people you snitch on, it's not going to benefit you. And don't try to use Tekashi, like I said, because he's a part of the fist-fucking celebrity elite power structure. It's the only reason why he was able to get out of that jam that he's in. You won't. Learn from Boxer. He's the man of the people, and that's why he'll never touch down. Because he didn't go out the same way as somebody like Mundo did or some of these other guys like Mike Thompson and shit. He went out because he knew he was done. So all that stuff, they're going to use it against him, plus the victims of peoples that he had gotten rid of are there to get stuck to him like a Band-Aid every time he goes in front of that board. As long as those people are right there in their ear, bada bing, bada boom, he ain't never getting out. You already know what it is, and you heard it right here. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, not sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. And I'm out.